Today's topic: what will happen when Russia's military casualties reach 3 million? Now, some of you might be thinking, come on, that's a long way off. Why even talk about it? And I get that reaction totally. But in reality, multiple sources estimate that Russia has already lost around 900,000 soldiers. For example, Diamond Online reports that combined Russian and Ukrainian casualties have exceeded 1 million. U.S. based think tank The National Interest estimates that Russia alone has suffered about 900,000 casualties. Moreover, the daily casualty rate is rising. Based on data from the Ukrainian General Staff confirmed by the UK Ministry of Defense, as of April 2025, Russia is losing about 1,300 soldiers per day. Even if the casualty rate stays flat, which is unlikely, reaching another 2 million casualties would take about 4 years and 2 months. But if that pace increases, the timeline will shrink dramatically. Let me get straight to the point. At that stage, Putin is finished. Human resources, public support, military cohesion, global isolation, and the Putin regime itself, all will hit their limits. Is that really true? Don't worry, I'm going to explain this collapse clearly, from political, military, and social perspectives, in 5 key reasons. Reason 1: total collapse of human resources. Russia may be a massive country with 140 million people, but only a fraction are eligible for conscription, especially as the youth population shrinks. In fact, Russia's birth rate is sometimes lower than Japan's, despite having more people. That's brutal. Most of the dead are from rural or poor regions. And once you've drafted a region once, it's nearly impossible to go back again. With 3 million casualties, Russia would simply run out of people to send to war. Reason 2: public outrage will boil over. Russia keeps tight control over media, and official casualty numbers are vastly understated. But when 3 million people are killed or wounded, everyone knows someone who died. You'll see angry mothers protesting in rural towns, whistleblowers on social media, testimonies from defectors abroad. That shift in public mood is what topples dictatorships. And it doesn't begin with returning soldiers, it begins with returning coffins. Maybe even the coffin industry will boom in Russia soon. Grim thought. Reason 3: the army will crumble from within. 3 million casualties isn't just a number, it's a breakdown of the military itself. Veterans die off, recruits are untrained or even convicts, commanders rotate constantly, destroying command structure. The military turns from a fighting force into a barely functioning machine. Not a war machine, a dying engine of the state. Reason 4: the price of isolation becomes unsustainable. Sustaining a war after 3 million losses means Russia becomes utterly isolated. Sanctions will intensify, military tech and advanced components will become unobtainable, and critically, even neutral countries like China and India are starting to back away. Since late 2024, China has issued cautious statements about dealing with Russia. India, too, is balancing its ties with the West and its strategic doubts about Putin's leadership. When Russia is no longer worth backing, they'll quietly walk away. And that's true isolation. The worst part about isolation isn't losing friends, it's that you lose any exit strategy for ending the war. With no support, no resources, and no leverage, Russia collapses under its own weight. Their only friend left might be, you know who? Yes, Kim Jong-un. Even he might back off when defeat looks inevitable. Reason 5: Putin's regime depends on victory. Putin's political survival depends on winning this war. Why? Because defeat means losing power, getting arrested, or possibly even being assassinated. But the reality is, no more soldiers, resources drying up, citizens reaching their limit. When there's no path to victory left, it's over. That's what 3 million casualties represent, the moment when the illusion of control shatters. Historical reality check. WWII myths don't apply. Russia can handle huge losses. They lost 20 million in World War II and still won. That's a common myth in Russia today. But that was a different era, total wartime mobilization, Soviet ideology holding society together, a clear moral justification, defending the homeland. Now? The war is in Ukraine, not Russia. The cause is unclear, even to Russians. Distrust outweighs patriotism, and the economy is falling apart. This is not the same Russia. Today's Russia is so fragile that even 3 million casualties could shake the nation to its core. Like the flimsy logic used by pro-Kremlin conspiracy theorists, it simply can't hold up. Conclusion: 3 million is the breaking point. Yes, Russia has nukes. Yes, it has oil and gas. But even authoritarian states collapse when they run out of people. Soldiers, citizens, the army, the economy, even Putin himself. 3 million isn't just a statistic. It's the alarm bell of national collapse. Final message: so what do you think? We may still be 4 years away from that number, but the trajectory is set. Unless something changes, unless the war ends, Russia will eventually collapse under its own losses. And when it happens, Putin will realize too late that it's over. His inner circle will go silent. His army will stop obeying. His people will rise not in fear, but in fury. And he'll be left, not choosing surrender or negotiation, but simply facing collapse. And the trigger for all of it? That number: 3 million casualties. Thanks for watching.